Good morning, beautiful people. Every now and then I'm going to mix some personal development into this blog because for me it's not separate. My journey as an entrepreneur, testing my limits in the real world, is intricately connected to my life as a spiritual practitioner. So about a year ago I read a book from Gay Hendricks. What was it called? Oh yeah, I think it's called The Great Leap. And one of the big topics he talks about in The Great Leap is the upper limit problem. And the upper limit problem is basically something like a glass ceiling that we all have, and we create it unconsciously, and we create it by telling ourselves stories about the world. And these stories are created by what our experiences. So, traumas in childhood, the society we live in, what our parents have taught us, what our friends have taught us. And at the end of the day, this upper limit, these limiting beliefs, you could also call them, they decide how far we can go with things. So I'd sort of forgotten that I'd read this book, and I was chatting with a friend in Hamburg, and we were just talking about life in general and everything. And then I was saying that I have all these big projects and big ideas that I want to do. I'm feeling a bit stuck because I can't do them as fast as I'd like to, because I have to fly back and forth to Germany all the time. I mean, like last year I flew 44 times. That always gets me out of my rhythm, and at the end of the month I basically normally run out of money, and so I don't have that much extra at the moment to be putting into all of the projects that I want to be doing. I was telling her this, and I said I didn't want to complain, and so I said, but it's not all bad. I'm very lucky that I can find these jobs and that it's with great people, and at the moment I couldn't imagine anything better. And that was really interesting because, she's also interested in personal development and all this sort of stuff and entrepreneurship. And we sort of just looked at each other, and I have to change my hand. Excuse me. So we looked at each other, and it was like, oh my God, my subconscious just completely expressed an upper limit. I didn't just say, oh wow, this is amazing, I've just discovered a limiting belief or an upper limit. Instead, I started to explain why it's true. I started telling her, there's this and it could be much worse and all of this. And suddenly I just had to laugh because I realized what I was doing is I was fighting for my limits and not for growth. So that is so funny. That's what happened. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and look at where does this limiting belief come from. Number 2, I'm going to work on imagining 10x better situations for me now. And I'm not going to hold on to this limiting belief. I'm going to let go of it, and I'm going to step into an even better future. I do think that it's often, of course it's not always, but often the things that are holding us back are these limiting beliefs and these upper limits. And as soon as we sort of reach a level, we start to sabotage ourselves so that we fall back to this glass ceiling, so we don't hit our heads on the glass ceiling. And that's what I'm going to do now. I will report. Wishing you all a fantastic day. Dominic out. See you.